Al-Khalili produced a video entitled The Double Slit Experiment Explained by Al-Khalili. At the end he states, "If you can explain this using common sense, let me know, because there's a Nobel Prize for you." Al-Khalili should know by now that they don't give Nobel prizes for common sense. In order to understand the famous double slit experiment, we need to look at it through a wider lens. Al-Khalili's presentation was a presentation, which is to say, it was theater. Al-Khalili is an entertainer, complete with comical costume. His material happens to be theoretical physics. Other comedians of his ilk include Michio Kaku, Walter Lewin, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Greene Richard Feynman, Lincoln and Dr. Becky. The bottom line of entertainment is that it must entertain. This exalted tradition goes back to Albert Einstein. That was his genius. In order to entertain, you need mysterious, enchanting material. Indeed, theoretical physics is as creative as literature, music, and dance. It keeps periodical writers employed. Consider the amount of writing about Albert Einstein. Simply put, theoretical physics is a sociological phenomenon. Within this context, the double slit experiment has been worthy material for entertaining the public for decades. In order to be mysterious, the performer needs the audience to have preconceived ideas, which are inconsistent with apparency. The magician must convince you that he has no rabbit before he pulls a rabbit out of his hat. Set up behind me is a cardboard demonstration of the two-slit experiment. This is not the experiment. This is a cardboard demonstration of the experiment. The experiment uses a light. When the light turns on, it lights the light bulb side of a barrier. But we're interested in what's happening on the other side of the barrier. The light shines through these two slits and projects over onto a screen over here. And when the light comes through the two slits, it projects multiple streaks of light. The light coming through the slits projects onto the screen via light waves. And the light waves interfere with each other. In the next part of the experiment, scientists try just sending through one particle of light at a time rather than a stream of light. The one particle of light shining through one slit produces one stripe of light on the back screen. Single particles shining through both slits produce multiple stripes on the back screen, as if they were waves. In the next part of the experiment, there is equipment that monitors the photons coming through one of the slits, while photons are allowed to go through both slits. The result is two streaks on the back screen. Finally, the monitor is unplugged, no longer monitoring the photons coming through the one slit. The result is multiple streaks on the back screen. The photon is an invention. Scientists infer the existence of photons because photons are a useful metaphor for understanding light. I do not object to the use of metaphor if it is useful. However it is useful to science as metaphor, common sense dictates that metaphor is not existential. Metaphor is only thought in our minds. Al-Khalili needs us to believe that photons exist in the absence of thought. Scientists have made a machine that they believe expels single photons. There is no empirical evidence that photons exist as anything other than an idea. I submit here that they are expelling shorter and shorter streams of light. The length of the stream of light is proportional to the amount of time that they expel the light for. If they were expelling a stream of light for 1 second divided by 186,000, they would be expelling a light for 1 mile long. If they were expelling light for 1 second divided by 930 million, that stream of light would still be 1 foot long. It would still be a stream of light, accessible to both slits, and produce the same result as a longer stream of light. This would suggest that a photon is conceptual, not existential. The whole idea of spy equipment is pure entertainment. But Al-Khalili has set us up for confusion. It's a valid question to figure out why the spy equipment cancels out the interference pattern when it is plugged in and does not cancel out the interference pattern when it is unplugged. If I were doing the experiment, I would try 2 pieces of spy equipment, 1 at each hole. I would try focusing the spy equipment on the back screen rather than at the slits. I submit that the spy equipment produces an electronic field which interferes with the light coming through the double slits and cancels out the fringe pattern. What is so astonishing to me is that scientists are so willing to be mystified by the evidence.